Hello, everyone. This is High Priestess Jamila. Um, I will not be here long. I'm up in my room chilling, and I thought I would come and make a quick little talk about spell manifestation. And this is a frequently asked question that I get quite often: is when I pay you, when do you start on the work, and then how long does it take? So I'll try to go through every service that I offer and sort of explain briefly, because a lot of that stuff gets explained to you during the consultation. I'll go over all of that with you. Okay. So, um, cleanses. Okay. Everybody comes for cleanses. And so, cleanses, how long do I usually take? It depends on how many clients I have ahead of you. However, a cleanse can always be worked into any time. So typically it depends on the severity of what you're dealing with, which usually if I don't get started on it, if I don't get your cleansing ritual done in 24 hours, then it's usually no later than a week later. But up like typically 3 days, because there's some instructions that I give you to do to prepare your cleanse, to prepare for your cleanse. So I do an exorcism by phone with you when you get cleanses and when you get hex removers. Not so much with the hex removers. I'll go over that. As far as hex removers, it's a little bit different. It's actually a lot different than cleanses. Um, Cleanses, I have reported people feeling better or cleanses manifesting like literally instantly. When I do the exorcism, a lot of people feel a huge relief. And so you usually start feeling better right away with the cleanses. Depends on, again, age, depends on your individual situation, and it depends on how well you are responding, which most people respond really well. Okay. Hex removers. It can take me up to 2 weeks to complete a hex remover ritual. Okay. The timing up to that 2 weeks, in that 2 weeks, could possibly be preparation. It could be astral work. It could be a lot of different things, doing extra protection, doing, sometimes people have I'm working your cleanse and then I'll do the hex remover because I just like to do it in that order. Hex, unless the hex is getting ready to, I'm gonna be honest with you when it comes to, so what is a hex? A hex is a contract with a demon or a bad spirit. That's what a hex is. Okay. If you know anything about necromancy, and if you know how to access the spiritual etheric realm, you can do a lot of damage with spirits. And so that's typically what hexes are. Hexes can also be enchantments, they can be blockages, limitations, bindings. So, hex removers, you're going to see a difference right away. But when it comes to removing a hex, like I said, it depends on how severe things have gotten, because, and it depends on your state of being. Okay. If you're being fired from your job and you're a basket case and you're all over the place, you're sad, you're depressed. Okay. That's going to be quite different than a person who is ready to walk away. And they're like, please fire me. Like, I got so many plans outside of this place. So, it just really depends. But hexes can make you lose your job and you still need to remove them. A lot of people say, "Oh, somebody hexed me and I lost my job, but I never got the hex removed." You still have the hex on you. It's going to follow you to the next job. It's a spirit. And so the practitioner has to either negotiate, destroy, um, either negotiate or destroy. The contract definitely has to be destroyed so that you can be released from it. Okay, so that can take up to 2 weeks. It's never taken that long, usually up to a week, because I'll be ready to get it done. Cleanses and hex removers, I pretty much do those right away. How long does it take to see results from a hex remover? It's usually immediately where you'll start to notice little things. The main thing that people say is that, okay, now I can feel my spirit guides, my ancestors, my angels. Like, I feel better, I feel comforted. But then, like, for example, if you get a generational hex remover, um, you're gonna know when you get a generational contract remover, generation when you get a bloodline contract removal, you're gonna feel a difference to your health, mental, physical, and spiritual, like almost immediately. Especially when I complete the ritual, it really depends. Sometimes spirit can be really, really finicky. If you've got a hex on you that's causing you bad luck, then I'm already doing the work, even before I light a candle. And I always have candles lit, always, because I work with fire a lot. Road openers. Road openers, I typically do those immediately because people that are doing that need road openers are typically blocked. So with road openers, I usually start on those again within a week. Within that week, I do those really quickly. Road openers, you can see a difference within an hour. Okay, depending on what you do, like an hour up to 90 days. For example, if you feel stuck in a job and you need a road opener and you're looking for another job, it can take longer because you're looking for a job. But if you have your own business, you're going to see the immediate benefits of a road opener. Um, Money manifestation, money work. It depends on what other services you got. If you come and get a cleanse, a generational hex remover, and a crown of success ritual, you are going to manifest so much money so quickly that your head will spin around. So it just really depends. Okay, hexes are real, bad spirits are real, bad energy is real. Okay. Love work. Love work can take anywhere from 1 day, because it depends on what you get. Because you can get love work, but then the person not communicate. So then you have to do communication work so that they can open up to you or either contact you so that you can, I guess, speak to them. A lot of times when I'm doing love work for you guys, I do provide coaching, but you need to open up your heart chakra if you don't know how to communicate with that person. That's not good. And a lot of people are just not really open with their feelings. And then there's some people that have a hard time expressing their feelings. So that would be some throat chakra stuff because you got to be able to speak your truth. Okay. So love work can actually, I've seen it take up to a year, but I've also seen it take up to 3 years. I had this client in like 2014 and I did love work for her. And this person was so stubborn. She was so frustrated. He just would not come back. And he had went to somebody else. And I guess whatever. Anyway, she contacted me and was like, he came back like 2.5 years later. which is crazy because nobody wants to take that wait that long. But it you know what? It really depends on the person and the circumstances. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if they're with somebody else, that means you're gonna have to either be a third party or you're gonna have to break them up. So that's an obstacle. A whole other relationship, a whole other karmic connection, um so it depends. It really does. And that's the truth. Ask any practitioner that is I have I mean just that listen, there's no spiritual work that's just going to manifest instantly except for maybe grounding. I do Reiki work, so I know how to tinker with your chakras. You know what I'm saying? To balance them and to get, to make sure that they basically energy healing. That's the way I took it. What Reiki people do is they tweak the chakras using energy, and they either usually they usually use their hands. I use my selenite wand and fire to do that. So, and I deliver energy to your chakras, and that's why you feel good afterwards. If you have a hex on you and you get a cleanse, you may blink in and out. I noticed that there's hexes are very real. I just got to tell you, even though there's there's some people that I guess it could be a different circumstance, but hexes can be complicated. They can be deliberate, and they can be very intentional. So, and the most, the one that for 90% of, because generational hex clients, I don't want to say that they're rare. Everybody typically needs one, but ooh, you can tell I'm sleepy because I kind of lost my train of thought. I've been getting to bed earlier, y'all. So it was some point that I was getting ready to make, and I lost it. I drew a blank. So I've been doing a lot of meditating, you guys. So you just have to forgive me. I've been literally in meditation doing a lot of work. So, um, 90% of the cases, it's a spirit. It's a contracted spirit. A lot of those spirits come from hell. Okay. A person that wants to curse you and hurt you, they're not going to send you a benevolent, loving spirit. They're going to send you a negative spirit. And so, that within itself is very complicated. You have to have access to remove a hex. Just to let you guys know, everybody can't remove hexes because they think that it's about, breaking a glass, stepping on a chicken's head or something like that. And it's much more complicated than that. Witchcraft has advanced a whole lot. It has. So, um, hex work. Hex work does not, okay, first of all, hexing somebody, annihilating an enemy is very different from psychically attacking somebody. So a psychic attack, you can send a psychic attack anytime you want if that person does not have adequate protection. Hexing is a little bit different. If you hex somebody, it's not going to necessarily manifest immediately. In fact, hexes, you have to be patient. Sometimes they can take up to 90 days. So they're not going to manifest immediately. And yes, I do offer dark work. Okay, it's all on my Etsy. It's very important to do dark work. Dark magic, black magic balances everything out. Um, Wrongs have to be righted. They do. Okay. And so it's one of those things to where if somebody has done you wrong, you got every right to hex them, to curse them. Best way to protect yourself from being hexed is by not trespassing on people. That's the best. A lot of people be like, well, protection, because I do, offer protection. I do it's a little petite protection jar. You can keep it on your altar. You can keep it above your fireplace or wherever you meditate. Um, the best protection is to not trespass on others. Is really the best protection that you can do, because when it comes down to any kind of spiritual war, the final draw is going to be right or wrong. It is. So if somebody has wronged you, and like I said, it's not gonna manifest as, people attacking people online, even though, yeah, people might attack you in social media if you're hexed. Okay. But it's going to be very deep, excruciating. Hexes are excruciating, especially some of these spirits that we can conjure. It ain't no joke. And you got to be prepared for it. And when I do hex work for you, I prefer to, speak to my clients, and for them to contact me and let me know. I can tell what's going on with my clients just by their correspondence. Um, and so it is very dark. Hexes have caused people to have all sorts of things. And it's really more so it just depends on what you do. It depends on what kind of hex. But I can tell you that it's not going to happen just the next day. Okay? It's not going to happen just the next day. So, in fact, you could have a few years before you see. And you know what? I always tell people that karma has to be served. It does. Justice has to be done. Okay. And if you have wronged somebody, it's okay to purge yourself of that, but you have to get an exorcism, because if a person hexes you, they put a demon or a bad spirit on you that needs to be banished. Okay. So, um, and bad spirits can do all sorts of things. They can make you depressed. They can, man, the list goes on. I think I have a video on that. I'll try to link it. So that's the times of the spell manifestations. I can tell you one thing, that the more trust that you have in spirit with as far as manifestation, because, oh, I don't think, did I go over money manifestation? I did kind of briefly. Um, as far as with money manifestation, like I said, it depends on what gateway you have open. It really depends on like what gateway. So, like, for example, if you have your own business and stuff is slow, and you're feeling uninspired, you're feeling burnt out, the crown of success rituals and then also money rituals, those can work in as little as an hour, especially if you need emergency money. I am really good at manifesting money fast. So, I've actually helped clients do that. Okay. So you guys can contact me for money work. I love doing money work. Money work is necessary. It is. It's necessary. Just like those videos that I uploaded, it is really something that is very special happening. So here's another thing. You should have money work done every new moon, every full moon. Okay. I prefer new moon when it comes to money, and I'm usually good. But um you can cast money spells at any time. You can do invocations anytime. I know that I'm going to start putting invocations up on Etsy tonight. I just haven't had time to do it. So, like for example, if I invoke Lakshmi for you, she usually is really fast, very fast. But there's certain things that Lakshmi that she likes. Um, so it depends, we're always negotiating this stuff. So, like I said, if you guys ever need, like I said, all this is discussed usually during the consultation, which is very specific to, what it is that you want. So, for example, if you are asking to manifest 300,000, then there's a certain amount of money that you want to put into that, because if I'm going to manifest 300,000, there's certain minerals and things that I need, to do that ritual. And um, so that's negotiable. And it's it doesn't happen too often that I have people do that, but and that's really really because I've been really busy the past 5 or 6 years dealing with other stuff that I needed to make a priority. Oh, fertility work. Okay, fertility spells, healing work. So healing, like I said, healing, you usually start feeling better within 24 hours after I do a healing on you. I don't do them too often. Typically, when people get cleanses, your body starts to automatically heal. So I don't do very many of them because, the cleanses is typically what people prefer to get. But fertility work, that can actually, you'll start to feel the difference when I start doing fertility work on you, because the one thing that you really have to have is your kundalini, your sexual energy has got to be balanced when you are trying to have a baby. Otherwise, the environment is not going to be conducive of a successful implantation and successful pregnancy. So that is going to depend on you, for real, how quickly you respond. If you've had long-term infertility for like 10 years, if you've had long-term infertility for 10 years, I would be shocked as to why you didn't go to a spiritualist. Um, guess it would depend on, why it's happening. But the last fertility client that I worked with, she got pregnant right at the 3 month mark is when she got pregnant. Was like because I had started on the work, and that was because she was so intense, not intense, she was tense. And, it took me a couple of months to actually get her body to understand what a lot of doctors tell fertility patients, which is about relaxing. Okay. You know how they tell you, oh, it's nothing wrong with you. Go home and relax, have a glass of wine. What's keeping you from relaxing? So it depends on what it is. I have had to remove infertility hexes from people. So yeah, they that happens very often. Um and so that was and so basically what that is where there's a bad spirit that's kind of hanging around your uterus. And a lot of people like to conjure parasitic vampiric energy for stuff like that, especially if they hate a person. So it'll literally be, that spirit will be feeding off of your sacral, feeding off of your root. And once you remove it, you pop up pregnant. Just, that's the experience that I've had. So anyway, I hope that this helped clarify some stuff for people. I am accepting new clients. in particular for the full moon that is coming up on Samhain, because I usually will have spell work prepared in advance for that. So if you guys want to get on my altar for Samhain, because that's going to be some very powerful magic. I'm just going to be like all day. I I got plans on what I'm going to do as far as like the night before. That's when I'm going to make all the treats and stuff. So we're almost at Samhain right now as I'm recording this live. So um, I am accepting new clients. So you guys can contact me. Feel free to do that. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up. And I'll see you guys later. Love and light.